What happened while we were away brought to you by another day, another terror attack. On Sunday morning, a gunman rammed his truck into the front of an LDS church in Grand Blanc Township, Michigan, before entering the church, opening fire, and then setting fire to the facilities. At least 4 people were killed in the attack, 2 of whom were shot, and 8 were injured as of this morning. The suspect in the attack is Thomas Jacob Sanford of Burton, Michigan, and police killed him in a shootout in the church parking lot. We're still trying to learn more about what exactly motivated Sanford beyond abject evil and terror, but records indicate he was of military background, having served in the Marine Corps. Obviously, a heinous, tragic, and evil development in yet another setting where such things should never happen. Please pray for the families of every victim. In other news, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced last week she's deploying the Department of Justice and resources at immigration and customs enforcement facilities around the country to protect the agency's operations from other would-be terrorists like what we saw last week in Dallas. She also announced she's activating the Joint Terrorism Task Forces around the country. Well, it didn't take long for those resources to be utilized. Here's a mob of left-wing agitators surrounding the gate to the Broadview, Illinois Immigration and Customs Enforcement Detainment Center on Saturday night.
Back to the stop sign!
And the Department of Homeland Security announced Sunday morning multiple agitators had been arrested, multiple handguns recovered, and 1 potential explosive device recovered from that showdown in Illinois. Late last week at the White House, Trump says he's targeting the entities upstream of those left-wing street shock troopers.
We're looking at the funders of a lot of these groups, and when you see the signs, and they're all beautiful signs made professionally, these aren't your protesters that make the sign in their basement late in the evening because they really believe it. These are anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know, I guess. I probably know them. And you wouldn't know it. You're at dinner with them, everything's nice, and then you find out that they funded millions of dollars to these lunatics.
In Des Moines, Iowa, Immigration and Customs Enforcement executed a deportation order issued by the Biden administration for one Ian Andre Roberts, an illegal alien from Guyana who had overstayed a 1999 F-1 student visa. Roberts is a registered voter in Maryland. Roberts fled ICE agents after they identified themselves, ditched his car, and was apprehended a short time later. Agents found $3,000 in cash as well as a loaded handgun in his car. Roberts had boasted various academic bona fides on his CV and LinkedIn, like having multiple doctorates and master's degrees, despite no definitive records existing for such accomplishments. Oh, and how could I forget Ian Andre Roberts, the Guyanese illegal alien with dubious records, a registered voter in Maryland, arrested in Iowa with a loaded handgun and $3,000 in cash, was serving as the superintendent of the Des Moines Public School District and making around $300,000 a year off the taxpayer dimes, a position he'd held since 2023. I know what you're still asking. I know what you're still thinking. You're probably wondering, how could any school district in any state in the country get away with hiring an illegal alien to serve as their superintendent? Well, if you know the Des Moines Public School District, the question is, why did it take them till 2023 to hire an illegal alien as their superintendent? Des Moines Public School District Board Chair Jackie Norris, who, by the way, is the former chief of staff for First Lady Michelle Obama, addressed the detention of Roberts.
It seems fitting to take a page out of Dr. Roberts' book and ask the community to engage in radical empathy.
Learning Chinese today. Today's phrase is, we'll empathize all you want when he's back in Guyana.
当他回到圭亚那时，我们会尽一切可能同情他。
Since we last spoke, former FBI Director James Comey has indeed been indicted by a grand jury on making false statements. Comey addressed the indictment in a video posted on social media.
Convict him, bar him from future service, have the prosecutors, the local prosecutors in New York, pursue him for the fraudster that he was before he ever became president, lock him up for the garden variety frauds he did there, but don't give him that center stage, that dominant role in our national life.
Whoops, wrong clip.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump.
In completely unrelated news, the FBI has finally admitted they had upwards of 275 plainclothes agents embedded in the crowd on January 6, 2021. Sinclair Broadcasting announced it's ending its preemption of Jimmy Kimmel Live after it came to an agreement with ABC for the appointment of a network-wide ombudsman. We'll see where that goes. Quick note from across the pond. Here's UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who's very pleased, thank you very much, to announce the Mark of the Beast.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Starmer says this new digital ID thing is the only way his nation can combat illegal immigration. And finally, also since we last spoke live, we lost another giant of the faith. Voddie Baucham went home to be with his Lord at the age of 56 after a medical emergency on Thursday. Baucham was long known for being one of the first well-known Christian teachers to take an aggressive stance against the spirit of the age and wokeness. In one of his most well-known sermons, he discussed the day that you'd hear about his passing.
You are going to hear a rumor one day that Voddie Baucham is no more. Don't you believe it? Don't you believe it? Don't you believe it? Because though I die, I will rise with Christ. It will not be the end of me, because Christ is raised, and I too will be raised with Christ. That is why he is called the firstborn from the dead. Folks, you don't talk about a firstborn unless there's others who are born after him. Don't you pity me. You pity the one who wants to hold on to Jesus without holding on to the resurrection. You pity the one who has absolutely no hope because they have no resurrected Christ.
Amen. And that's what happened while we were away.